Hi, everybody. It's September 15th, 2020, and I finally decided to sit down and make time for cancer. In the last 5 years, I have not made time for it. I just refuse to make time for it. But my good friend Janice, she called me and she said, will I please make this video blog about my trials with cancer? So here we go. My name is Sonia Ali. I'm a retired CW4, probably about 2 months ago. I think July 20, like it's been that long, right? So July 29th of 2020, it was my last day of active duty service. I was diagnosed with breast cancer November 24th, 2014. It's not that I forgot. It's just that, like I said, I just have not made time for it. What I mean by that is that the day that they told me, let me back up. I have a daughter, and at that time, she was 3 years old, and I had lost all my baby weight. I was trying to get back fine, and my breast would not go down. I was up to like these double G's, so I went in for a routine breast reduction. I was in South Korea, Youngsung. He did the breast reduction. 2 days before my breast reduction, I had a mammogram. They said nothing was there. I had a dream, and in my dream, I was feeling on myself, and when I woke up in the morning, I was sore on my left side. So I called, and I was like, I need a mammogram. And they rushed me in. I told them I was having this breast reduction. I was nervous, and so they was like, come on, we'll check you out. So when they checked me out, they was like, nope, nothing's there. You're good to go. 2 days later, I had my breast reduction. So he took me from these double G's. And I've always been a double D girl, but I am 5'10". So it went with my height. So I went from these double G's to these nice little heavy C's, and I was happy with them. I had them for 10 days. And when I came back from getting my, going back from check the stitches, making sure everything was good, the doctor sat me down, and he was like, hey, let me tell you how your surgery went. And he sat me down, and he was like, have some chocolate. And I was like, why are you trying to give me chocolate? We done had this conversation about how I'm trying to get all this weight off. I'm trying to get back fine. And he was like, go ahead, have a chocolate. So I had a chocolate. And then he proceeds to tell me that when he was in there taking out breast tissue, he found a mass. They sent it off to pathology, and it came back positive for triple negative breast cancer. And I'm like, what? So I'm just sitting there like, wait, what? I got a 3-year-old. I'm in Korea. Okay, what now? What next? We got inspection next week. So what we gonna do? Let's get it. And he's like, no, you can't do that here. We got to send you back to the States. Now, I just got to Korea. Like, we just been here a year. We love it here. My daughter loves it here. We plan on staying here for 2 years and then retire 20 years. I'm like, what are you talking about? So I leave and I go see Dr. Harris, Janice Harrison, my daughter's godmother. We go over there. I tell her the news, and she's like, what? He told you with nobody with you? So she's angry. She immediately get to praying. And so I go see my brigade commander, and I tell him the news. And he's like, well, you just go home and, just chill and don't come back until they figure out what they're going to do. And I'm like, we getting ready to have, I forgot what the exercise key result. I don't even remember what the exercise was. The exercise that happens every February in Korea. He was like, go home. Don't worry about it. Because they talking about sending me to WTU. This is November. He was like, we getting ready to get you up out of here. And I'm like, no, we got inspections going. That's getting ready to happen. We got the exercise popping off in February. Like I said, I don't have time for cancer. So he's like, no, relax. November 24th, I found out December 19th, they had me in San Antonio at the WTU, just like that. So I get there, and once again, I ain't got time for this. I had a cruise scheduled. I was already getting ready to go home on leave. I had a cruise scheduled, Disney cruise. I'm taking my baby to Disney. What y'all talking about? So when you go to a WTU, you normally don't get leave. So I walk in and I'm like, listen, I got to go on leave. So they let me go on leave. Because I'm like, listen, if we can redo all of this, I need to at least give my daughter some sense of happiness before I go through this year of unknown. So they sign me out. I leave. I go on a Disney cruise. I give my daughter as much happiness as I can. And we come back. And on February 10th, I chose to undergo a double mastectomy. So I had triple negative breast cancer in the left breast, grade 3, 1B. The reason it was a 1B is because when he did the breast reduction, he cut up the tumor. So because he cut up the tumor, there's no way of determining if the cancer spread into my lymph nodes or whatever. There was no way of telling if it was one tumor or 50 tumors. There was no way of telling if the tumor was all in one place because it had been cut up. But when you looked at the cancer under a microscope, it was splitting off and multiplying very fast. So breast cancer is the slowest traveling cancer in your body, but mine was multiplying and growing rapidly at a slow rate. But of all the breast cancers, it was multiplying rapidly. So they decided that to treat it radically, and they was like, we recommend that you get a mastectomy and undergo chemotherapy and radiation. So at this time, my daughter was 3. I am a single parent. I was a CW3 promotable at the time. And they were talking about medically retiring me and everything else. And I'm like, what? I just made the promotable list. What are you talking about? So I was like, listen, if the chance of it coming back is low if you get a mastectomy, then take them. Take both of them. They have served me well. I had my daughter at 40 years old. And so at this point in time, I don't even remember how old I was. That's a shame. So I'm 50 now. So I was 45. So I'm like, yeah, today's my birthday. So that's why I was like, I might as well tell my story because God allowed me to be here 5 years later, and I turned 50 today. So anyway, I went on ahead and had the double mastectomy on February 10th, 2015, the day before my mother's birthday. I won't forget that because my mom came to take care of me, and what a birthday present for my mother. You know what I mean? So anyway, I know that was hard for her. Like, your only baby. You know what I'm saying? Your only baby, and you're taking care of your grandbaby, and you having to be tough for your only child. But yeah, so mentally, cancer was something. I never cried. I didn't have the opportunity to cry. Like, I had to be on, like, at all times. Like, me and my daughter are super tight. And that was the first time not really spent the night because she stayed with Miss Janice all the time. But that was the first time I went away from my kid. There was one thing for me to be at work, but now my mom is keeping my daughter. So that was kind of weird. That was a weird situation. So now I'm getting surgery, my daughter not knowing what's going on. And then I come home and she's like, Mommy, I want to play. So I may be sore, so I had to be super mom. So when she's on, I'm on. And it was the same thing. So 2 weeks later, after I healed, I started chemotherapy. I started chemotherapy in March. The first week of March, the first Monday of March, I started chemotherapy. And I did chemotherapy every other Monday until June 16th. And chemotherapy was mentally tough on me. And I developed PTSD off of chemotherapy. My mom ended up having to go back home, and I was in that house by myself with my daughter. And I used to just have fear, like, what if I get sick? What if I don't wake up? My baby was 3. And, I had to rearrange my house. I rearranged my house. And my daughter is so, if you can meet her, like God knew what he was doing when he gave me her. He knew what he was doing because she is so smart and she's so independent. And it's like how we do soldiers. We train them to be ready. And I had to teach her at 3 how to go into my phone to find the favorites in case something happened to mommy, so that my friends that were in San Antonio could come and take care of us, come and help her out. And I had to move all the cereal bowls from the top shelf to the bottom shelf and make sandwiches and have food at her level. So when Wednesday come, because Monday you get chemo, Wednesday you feel like crap, Thursday you out of it, Friday you starting to feel a little bit better, Thursday you feeling like yourself again, and then Monday, Tuesday you feeling okay, and then by the time you bouncing back and you feeling like yourself again, Monday it's time to get chemo again. And the sad part about it is that the chemo after about, by the time, so it was like clockwork, right? So you get the chemo, and I come home. So I sent her, she was going to daycare. I get the chemo. I go pick her up, because you're there all day. And I go pick her up, and she's like, Mommy. And I'm feeling like crap. And I feel like I'm going 100 miles an hour. I'm probably going 2 miles an hour. And I'm probably going really slow. And she's like, let's go to the playground. And I'm like, okay, baby. And I'm at the playground dragging. But she want to go to the playground. What am I going to do? I got to go to the playground. So off to the playground I go. I really think that she kept me going. I went to the playground every day that she wanted to go. I rode my bike with the Wounded Warrior Transition Unit. We used to ride every Wednesday, 10 miles. I tried to walk every day. They told me that if I ate vegetables, I drank green smoothies all the time. People used to tell me that I didn't look like I was sick. I didn't know what that meant because I felt like I was sick. I would lay in the bed because the neuropathy would kick in. And by week 5 or 6, the pain in my legs, it would just be unbearable. And I just remember just laying in the bed, just too tired to cry, because all day long, I'm doing everything I had to do at the hospital. And then when I pick up my daughter at 4, I'm doing everything I got to do to be super mom. And by the time she go to bed, I'm too tired to do anything but go to sleep. And then you wake up at night, and I remember just laying up and just talking to God. And I just felt like I can't ask for anything. All I could do is just be thankful. And I just would lay there and just be thankful that I am here. And just be thankful that I'm allowed to be here with my baby. And that's what I was thankful for. I was just thankful that every day I was able to wake up. Every day was not sick. I was not sick. Everything I heard about cancer did not happen to me. I did not get sick one time. And that's what I was thankful for. I remember when I got my mastectomy, I asked for it, and that was hard for me because I asked for it and I could not understand why I couldn't look in the mirror. I could not look in the mirror. I could not take a shower. Why couldn't I look in the mirror? Why couldn't I look in the shower? Because I am mentally tough. I am mentally strong. And you see, I'm about to get emotional now. But that was hard for me. It took me 9 days before I could stand in the mirror. I would wait all day to take a shower. Like literally, I would be talking to myself all day. Okay, get in the shower, get in the shower. Then finally, 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm getting in the shower. Because I'd wait till it get pitch black to get in the shower because I could not look at myself. And then finally, I would get in the shower and would not be looking at myself. And when I finally would go see the mental health people, that my shrink that they gave me, my oncologist shrink, she was like, "It took you 9 days. You're doing well." And I was like, "Really?" I thought I was doing horrible because I was like, but I asked for it. The same with my hair. They told me by week, in they called it Red Devil. The chemo they gave me, they said they called it Red Devil because it was red, and I didn't like that name. Like, you ain't putting no devil in me, so I called it the Red Angel, because that's the only way I could really fathom it going into my body, because I was like the angel that's gonna wipe out the cancer. That's how I determined. That's the only way I could look at it, because Red Devil didn't sound right. But they told me by the second one my hair was gonna fall out. So I was like, I gotta take control of that, because, us women in our hair. So the first chemo, I pulled all my hair up in a ponytail and I chopped it off. By the time we got to the second one, I was like rubbing it and it was coming out of my hands. By the second one, I went to the shop and I had that lady take it. And she just went on ahead and cut it off, because it was more mentally messing with me, rubbing it and feeling it come out, than just chopping it all off. And I didn't lose my eyebrows until after I was done with chemo. That was the weird thing. The day I started radiation was like July 6th, right after 4th of July. I had did my eyebrows. I was like, my hair had little peach fuzz coming in. I had stopped wearing a wig because it was just too hot in San Antonio. I was like, I'm over this. I'm just, love me or hate me, I'm a rocket bald. And I went outside. I had did my makeup. I was like, at least put some makeup on so you can be cute. So I put my makeup on, put the eyebrows on, went to wash my face. See, I hadn't been wearing makeup with the wig. Put the makeup on, went to wash my face. All the eyebrows fell off. I was like, can't win. But my baby used to brush my little bald head when she saw the peach fuzz. So I'm telling you, she the one kept me young. So kept me feeling good. So when I went through the radiation, that was another monster, because all your skin be peeling all off, and then they don't really tell you. They probably tell you, but you going through so much. You just don't really remember or everything that you're going to go through. And all your skin peels off. But when I tell you, when I look back on it now, I didn't believe them. I just remember I didn't believe that man when he told me I had cancer. I was like, this is a setup. Like, I don't really have cancer. I'm just one of the ones they just trying to give me a illness, you know. But I look back now, I remember this lady told me that once it's all over with, the further you get away from it, the easier to get. And I have moments. I remember a year later, when I had to go back for my first screening, had a mental breakdown. I didn't even know what a panic attack was until I had to go get my first screening. And I had finally got to return back to duty because I didn't want to medically retire. And I got to Augusta, and I went to get my first screening for them to tell me I was cancer free, and I literally had a mental breakdown. I didn't even know that I was having mental health issues, that I was having depression, that I was having anxiety, that I even had PTSD, until I had to go into the oncology ward and I couldn't breathe and my heart was racing. And they took me back there to do my blood pressure, and they took me to the chemotherapy room, and I was sweating profusely and shaking and about to cry. And I was like, what is wrong with me? And they was like, oh, you got a little bit of PTSD. Well, you think? This is the last room I want to go in. So, luckily it's gotten a lot easier. The oncology places I've been to in Germany, they definitely don't take you in the chemo room. Thank goodness. It just has a different smell and taste to me. But I'm blessed and I'm very happy. And it's been 5 years, and that is the goal. 5 years is the marker when it drops dramatically, and the possibility it comes back is extremely low, especially for triple negative. So I had the Brax test done, and that's where it determines if it's hereditary or not. And it's not. So for my kid, all that means is at age 35, she has to start getting early screenings. I was just telling Janice, I remember us sitting at her table, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago. And it's just like, I just have different moments. And we were watching something on TV, and the guy had cancer, and he was talking about something he went through. And I almost had a meltdown at her table. So it's just like, different things bring up different memories, different moments, and different times of when I was going through treatment. And there's just different things that I've been through that comes up and kind of get me choked up. But I can tell you that the further I get away from it, the easier it does get. I'm happy and I'm healthy. And anybody that has been through it, they probably truly understand. I do have neuropathy in my hands and my feet. I do have, I think, neuropathy in my chest. I do have pain, but for the most part, it's not nothing that keeps me down. Like I said, really don't have time for that. Like I'm still, I still be moving, getting around a lot. I don't make a lot of time for talking about me and what I've been through and stuff like that. The only time I really talk about it is when people call. And I do get a lot of people that have been diagnosed, and I help as much as I possibly can. I think I like to help other people more so than talk about myself. So I hope this helped in any type of way, and happy birthday to me. Bye.